day everyone, my name is by Jenny Ali and my report will cover two topics. First is the CARPER and the future of agrarian reform in the Philippines and the evolution of the Philippine taxation. These are both important because agrarian reform focuses on farmers and the land distribution, while taxation shows how the government raises funds to serve the people. First, let us begin with the CARPER and its role in shaping the future agrarian reform in our country. After that, we'll move on to the second part, which is the evolution of the Philippine taxation. Now, I will talk about the CARPER or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program extension with reforms and its impact on the future of agrarian reform in the Philippines. Kung narinig nyo na ang CARP or Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, ito yung landmark program na nag-start noong 1988 under the President Corazon Aquino. Ang goal nito ay distribute ang agricultural land sa mga farmers para magkaroon sila ng sariling lupa. Pero guess what? Hindi pa rin natapos agad ang distribution kahit ilang dekada na. CARP was supposed to end in 2008, pero by that time may 1.6 million hectares of land pa na hindi pa distributed at 1.2 million farmers na naghihintay. Kaya noong 2009, si President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo signed Republic Act No. 9700. Ito yung CARPER. Basically, extension siya ng CARP plus may additional reforms. Section 30 of the CARPER says na kahit matapos na ang deadline noong June 30, 2014, lahat ng pending cases related to CARP ay pwede pa rin ituloy hanggang sa matapos. So bakit ba hindi natatapos? So there are two main challenges. Number one is the powerful landed elites. Ito yung mga malalaking hasyendero na may influence sa politics, kaya lagi silang may paraan para iwasan or i-delay ang distribution. Number two is ineffective bureaucracy. Kahit may DAR or Department of Agrarian Reform at DENR, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, kulang pa rin ang efficiency at coordination nila. Fun fact muna tayo. Did you know na sa history ng Pilipinas, farmers have been fighting for their right to own the land for more than 400 years since the Spanish colonial period. Kaya ang agrarian reform ay hindi lang simpleng government project, kundi centuries-old struggle na ng mga magsasaka. Another trivia, CARPER also provided support services like credit facilities and legal assistance to farmers. Hindi lang lupa ang binigay, tinulungan din sila na magka-access sa livelihood support. So, CARPER was a very important step in continuing the dream of the agrarian reform. Yes, marami na itong na-achieve, but hanggang ngayon may 500,000 hectares pa na hindi pa distributed. Until matalo natin ang problema ng political power ng mga landed elites at maayos ang sistema ng gobyerno. Genuine agrarian reform will remain a dream for the Filipino farmers. At the end of the day, ang tanong, will agrarian reform in the Philippines ever be completed or it will remain unfinished business forever? So that's the challenges for the future. So now I'll be talking about the evolution of the Philippine taxation. So taxation is something na lahat tayo ay naapektuhan. Whether we like it or not, paying taxes is part of being a citizen. Bakit? Kasi government need money to function for roads, schools, hospitals, defense, and social services. Ang promise ng gobyerno in exchange for our taxes ay mas magandang buhay at good governance. And now we will talk about the early taxation in the Philippines. So, before the Spaniards came, may sistema na ang pagbabayad ang mga early Filipinos. Ang tawag dito ay tribute or handog. Usually, ito ay binibigay sa dato or sa kanilang local ruler, either in the form of agricultural product, labor, or services. Trivia. Noon, hindi laging pera ang ginagamit pang bayad ng buwis. Madalas ay bigas, ani, hayop, o kahit paggawa ng serbisyo like helping build houses or boats. So now we'll jump into the Spanish period. So during the Spanish colonial period, taxes were a major burden. At first, tribute was around 8 reals, parang coins yearly. Later, it was replaced by the cedula, Personal Community Tax Certificate. So, familiar ba? Hanggang ngayon may sedula pa rin, pero symbolic na lang siya. The 1896 Katipunan Revolution was triggered by the refusal of Andres Bonifacio and the other members to show their cedula during the cry of the Fugad Lawin. The tour of their cedulas as a sign of defiance. So kita nyo, taxation played a role in our fight for independence. So next is the American period. So under the Americans, taxation was modernized. They introduced a more systematic way of collecting taxes, patterned after U.S. system. The Americans established the Bureau of International Revenue, or VIR, in 1904, which until today is our main tax collecting agency. They also introduced the new kinds of taxes like income tax and custom duties. This was the start of the more formal structured tax system that we still use. So now we'll talk about in the post-independence to present. So after the independence in 1946, the Philippines continued to improve its taxation system. The VRR was strengthened and different type of taxes were implemented like income tax for salaries and wages, value-added tax introduced in 1988 para sa mga goods and services, and excise taxes on products like alcohol, cigarettes, and petroleum, and the property taxes on land and real estate. So over time, those were passed to improve the system like train law or tax reform for acceleration and inclusion in 2017. So this law lowered personal income taxes for most workers, pero tinaasa naman ang excise taxes sa fuel, sweetened beverages, and other products. Trivia. Alam niyo ba na ang taxes also fund 90% of the Philippine government budget? Kaya kahit hindi natin gusto, taxes literally keep the country running. Without taxes, walang teacher salaries, walang public hospitals, at walang kasadang naitatayo. Moving forward, taxation in the Philippines continues to evolve. The challenges is to make it fair para hindi masyadong mabigatan ang ordinaryong mamamayan. And efficient para lahat ng dapat magbayad is magbayad talaga at hindi makalusot ang mga tax evaders. And transparent para makita ng mga tao kung saan napupunta ang mga pera ng buwis. And with digitalization, the BIR is now moving towards online filing and payments, making taxation easier but also stricter in monitoring compliance. In the future, we hope to see a system na hindi lang nagko-collect ng taxes, kundi talagang nagbabalik ng benepisyo sa tao. In conclusion, the history of taxation in the Philippines shows us na it has always been tied to power and governance. From the tributes to datus, to the Spanish tribute and cedula, to the modern tax and laws we have today. Yes, paying taxes is a burden, but it is also our contribution to the nation building. The key question is, does the government use our taxes wisely? If yes, then taxation truly fulfills its purpose. Thank you, and I hope you learned something about my topic, the CARPER and the future of agrarian reform in the Philippines, and the evolution of the Philippine taxation. That would be all. Thank you.